Good evening and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am your caster, Bahamut. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Probe 1, and on the right, it is going to be the members of Archon. My team just called me Detective Time Throw. I'm sorry. One of the players just broadcast that from the team as we were getting into this, and I'm like, defective Time Throw. Time to throw. Either way, sorry. No punctuation. Hello everyone. Hello Hero Sharebot. Fishy, you did not miscalculated throw. They apparently did not schedule correctly, so they had to change the time, so we did not grab that game. Miss Windup Bird, the Miss Windup Bird is in chat. Thank you for coming by. Bring Band to BlizzCon 2019. I definitely wish I could do that. Not this year, maybe one year. And, Mimimos, thank you for coming by as well. Thank you everyone for joining for this heroic division game, but I'm sure you're sitting at home and you're like, Bahamut, I don't care about any of this. I want to know how we got to this map, and I got you. The home team this evening is going to be Probe 1. They lost the coin flip. First pick priority was chosen by Archon. They banned out Braxis Holdout and Alterac Pass. Sky Temple and Battlefield of Eternity were banned out by the members of Probe 1, and Infernal Shrines will be the first map chosen by them. As we go ahead and get into our first game of our best of 3 series, let's jump back into our draft. Angus Lee, how you doing? Thanks for coming by, friend. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful day. And we got a ETC Zero Tool Band on the right-hand side and a Alarak and Sylvanas on the left. Ana will be picked up on the right-hand side here, and I like that right there. That's a strong start, especially for Infernal Shrines. The Biotic Grenade is a great... it's a great denial as well as buff for the friendly team. It's going to be a great way to kind of mitigate some of that enemy healing as well as buff your own as you're trying to snipe in with that strike mode. But a Jaina and a Joanna will be picked up on the left-hand side. Really great synergy with that. Joanna's great for the rotations between mid and bottom to be able to group up those minions with the Condemn, and then you have Jaina with the Burst to be able to get those cleared out, as well as her poke with the Ice Lance and the overall just burst that she brings to the table. We could see a Water Elemental game here. I would say we could see a Ring of Frost game here is probably the better way to phrase that, as Water Elemental is a little bit stronger in a lot of these team fight based maps. But Ring of Frost gets some value, especially in a lot of tight choke points. But there's not a whole lot of synergy outside of the Blessed Shield. I mean, they could set up with Blessed Shield, Ring of Frost underneath. But looks like we are going to be seeing an Uther Leorc on the right hand side. I'm thinking this is going to be a main tank Uther. The Ana Uther combo is pretty indicative of that often, and that's what we're going to be expecting right there. Leorc for the solo lane, so they're mostly going to be picking up their damage on the side of Archon, and so if I'm sitting on the side of Probe 1, I'm like, alright, cool. They don't have any damage, they don't have any shrine cleared, let's burn down, or at least remove that from this game. Kael'thas is an option here, Gul'dan is an option as well, but they're going to be going for the Kerrigan. Kerrigan actually has a lot of value on a map like this. We actually see her, this is the one map where we actually see her pop up quite a bit due to the fact that she gets that Ravage value on the shrines, as well as with the Uther Ana combo with all that lockdown, she's able to dive in and be extremely bursty. The Phoenix is going to be banned out here on the right-hand side. It makes sense. There's a lot of slows. There's a lot of things to set up for that purification salvo. You also do have a high mobility coming out from Phoenix and being able to dive into the back line and harass the Uther and Ana very easily. To keep my food trend, I'm making pizza right now. Oh, you gotta tell me, what's on that pizza? Man, I miss casting HOTS, but lordy, I'm far outside of the meta right now. What's up, Zex? How you doing, bud? I saw your messages earlier. I wasn't ignoring you. Just there was 500 things going on right now. But I saw that. That sounds a little interesting. We might be able to do something like that. It sounds like a good time. Tyrande and Zul'jin, though, to be picked up on the left-hand side here, and you're not too far out of the meta if you're a little surprised by the Zul'jin right now. Yeah, Miss Windup, you gotta tell me what's on that pizza. I need to know. Genji and Gul'dan will be picked up on the right-hand side. The Genji makes a lot of sense here because of the Uther right there, as well as the Ana makes sense with the Gul'dan. So you have Divine Shield onto the Genji, who's able to dive into the backline. You have Gul'dan with the Nano Boost from the Ana to then just get that power spike in their within their kit. You could also see the Divine Shield being thrown onto the Gul'dan as well as they just go ham. Or even see the Divine Shield and Nano Boost on the Genji. Doubt we'll see either on Leorc. I hope we see neither of them on Leorc. But this last pick coming out from the left-hand side, they needed a solo lane. They're going to be grabbing the Ragnaros. Strong for the Shrine Clear as well as the defense with that Molten Core. Lava Wave is a great way to deal with some of the momentum that teams start to build. You know, if you have a lane that you can't manage and you need to be able to fight over a shrine, and you're like, cool, that's a ticking time bomb, Lava Wave, done. Or you see the Sulfurous Smash come out, and you tie that in with the I'm trying to think of the word, but it's guillotine from Zul'jin. Just that, totally, absolutely. Chicken bacon ranch with stuffed crust. It sounds weird, but great. Doesn't sound weird at all. Does not sound weird at all. That sounds pretty good. I'm not a big ranch fan, but I don't care. That sounds really good. How do you make stuffed crust? Do you just roll cheese into the crust, essentially? Bandit, how do you make stuffed crust pizza? I wish. This game is live? Okay. Apparently this game is live by Heroes Sharebot. But thanks for coming by, everyone. Thank you as well, Heroes Sharebot. We got ourselves a game. Let's go ahead and jump on into this. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Probe 1. We're going to be having Perfection on the Tyrande. Zadie is going to be on that Jaina. Christy will be on the Joanna. We'll have Thunderblade going to be on the Zul'jin. And Really is going to be on the Ragnaros. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Archon. We're going to be having JTR going to be on the Genji. We have Fatal Rampage going to be on that Leoric. Visionary will be on the Uther. We have Midnight Haze on the Gul'dan. And Little Bex is going to be on the Ana. Let's go ahead and meet in our mid lane and check out what our level 1 talents look like, as both these teams are going to be crashing right now. Okay. I thought I shift Z'd, but I'm like, no, I'm seeing, I think, just the right amount right there. But I actually meant to hit Control 1 as we want to look at the level 1 talents, not some of the other stats right now, as that also will be the Sulfurous Hungers for that Ragnaros, but Midnight Haze with this early damage coming out from the Gul'dan. 5 stacks of Echoed Corruption. I swear there was someone who finished like Echoed Corruption like sub 4 minutes into the game one time, and I just remembered on this map, like, jaw on my desk, like, really? You were able to get that in like sub 5 minutes? Like, that's just crazy. Bandit can roll the dough? Yes, he can. He's actually, he's the one who actually cooks in the house. I just order out. Fatal Rampage and Really are going to be 1v1ing up here. We'll try and keep an eye on the rotations between mid and bottom, and typically those are just going to be picking up some questing talents here and there, and picking up some kills as well. As I was like, let me skim through the talents. No one's going to die in that rotation. Jaina obviously will see them come. Nope. Okay. And speaking of, Jaina not seeing people coming up in the rotations, let's actually jump over to the vision of the members of Probe 1 right now. They do know that they're on this camp, but there's nothing they can do. They can poke out a little bit here and there. They can try and get a little extra damage, but they're going to be able to steal that away without a problem. Once again, let's jump back into the top lane. We are just going to be having this matchup, and it's always fun to watch this because, as I said, it doesn't get highlighted that often, and I'm also trying to work on my own ability to watch the minimap while still being able to kind of show you something that's happening in the top lane. Because, I mean, we've seen rotations. We know what wave clear looks like. We know what a camp looks like. This is also going to be the Sentinel coming out, connecting onto Visionary, giving that vision over so they know exactly where they are. That will be ending right there. But you can also see with that pick that they had earlier in the game, you can see how close they're playing into these front gates. They're also not going to be breaking into the rotations themselves. I think they're a little bit afraid of anyone stepping forward in the said rotation to be able to get the pick onto them. Let's jump over the vision of the opposing side, get an idea of what Archon's looking at right now, as they're just taking every camp on the map. Now, they aren't doing their rotations, and that's why we're seeing a lot of really, really even experience between these two teams, mostly because they are focusing on just getting these waves pushed into them and then just clearing them out. Looks like we're going to be having some pings into this bottom lane. They want to try and open this up a little bit. There's no team members to respond to this, as they can also see that the Zul'jin and Jaina are going to be rotating through mid lane. That is going to be common vision for both teams because of the fact that the minion waves will be providing that. And they just back right out as we get our first Mortar Punisher of the game, going to be popping up in the mid lane. Leoric is going to be clearing out the top. Sentinel going to be coming out from the Tyrande as well, just to scout up here. I don't know if that was for the camp or not. Once again, let's jump to Tyrande's vision. They might have seen that they were going over there, but they just know that the Genji's down in this mid lane. So I think, yeah, without seeing anyone else on the map, they're probably going to assume that the opposing side's on this Bruiser camp, and that's what you'd expect in a situation like this, as we are going to be seeing, yeah, Sentinel go out, and they're going to be finishing almost simultaneously as well. 6-6 in our levels as Christy is going to be on this Joanna, just already grouping up some of those skeletal defenders. Uther will be finishing that Hammer of the Lightbringer at level 1, so you're going to be able to have that. What is it? Oh my god, it's, there we go. Mana. I was just like, I was like, it's a cooldown of something, and then it's something else. You get a passive mana gain as well as you get that cooldown. But Visionary is going to be fine right there, as that's going to be Ragnaros getting picked off on the left-hand side as they managed to control this, and Archon doing a very, very good job pushing Probe 1 out as they had a dominant lead on this first shrine. Tyrande, though, is going to be throwing out that's, oh no, Zadie gets the heal. Yeah, they should be fine, but that damage over time from Gul'dan is insane. 15 out of the 40 stacks necessary to be done for that one, and they're working their way very quickly. Probe 1 is not playing Provius, and Archon is not playing Tassadar. Sigh. Sam, how you doing? Thanks for coming by. Yeah, it's like those teams that put Murky in their name and then never play Murky. Yeah, I'm calling you out. Mostly Division C teams, I think. I think there's like 2 Division C teams that have Murky in the name, and they don't play Murky. This is going to be Ragnaros popping that Molten Core, as we did discuss in the draft, and this is exactly why you... This is not exactly why, but this is one of the many reasons why you grab him on a map like this. You can also cheese out the... I guess you could finish out the Shrine as well, while the rest of the team backs out and Hearths and gets mana and health for the upcoming push, but it looks like they're going to be able to make that disengage right there. They also do force them back a little bit, and they save their fort. They do lose the front gate, and meanwhile, we have Zul'jin. I looked at their cursor, or their icon on the map, and they're just spinning around in this top lane. And Fatal Rampage just continuing to soak up here. We've seen the talents for quite some time. Let's actually jump on over and look at what some of those other numbers look like as we are going to be progressing. I hope you're having a wonderful night, friend. 6.5 more minutes for pizza. Can they win that quickly? Miss Windup Bird, knowing your luck and how everything always goes, you will go grab your pizza, and it will be like halfway through the next draft. Because I think that's what happened, like when you left to go get some delivery, I think, at your door, and then you came back and it was like halfway into the next draft, and you were like, how did I miss this much? Empower Sulfuris is going to be finished out right there for the Ragnaros in top lane, who's going to be doing a little bit of double duty, going to be coming down in this mid to make sure this gets pushed back before it gets much value right there. Next Punisher will be in the top lane. We do have a fight breaking out down here as JTR dives in the back line. Won't be able to find a kill, but Gul'dan will continue to push out that Echoed Corruption damage as Johanna steps forward. Zul'jin going to be getting those Arcanite axes out as well. Excuse me, the twin... I think it's Twin Cleave. It's not Arcanite Axe is the 7 talent here for him, but JTR dives in. That's going to be a Swift Strike. Can they find the kill into Thunderblade? They can't, and that means that they're going to be able to put out a lot more damage. Oh, this Gul'dan is just forcing Thunderblade back, who actually has to tap right there as well. Gonna go get the Grievous Throw out right there. Can they? It's not Grievous Throw. I have to check and see what that is. I don't know what the name of that talent is, or the ability. I know what it does, I can't think of the name for it. Let's actually check that really quickly. Let's learn together, stream. Where is Zul'jin? Oh no, it's Grievous Throw. Okay, we had it right. We learned together, stream. Shouldn't have doubted myself. Alright, next Punisher is going to be in the top lane. We shouldn't be too far off from that. So, while we have the map kind of split and while these teams are just going to be going for their rotations, let's break down some of these 10 talent tiers really, or these 10 talents that they went for. We have that Dragon Blade for the Genji. That's going to pair well in with the... Divine Shield from the Uther, as we talked about in draft. Same kind of thing. We have the Nano Boost from the Ana that can either go into the Gul'dan or onto the Genji. And the reason I say the Genji as well is because of the fact that you get the cooldown reduction on your abilities by 150%. And that's a great thing for Genji to be able to do right there. Blessed Shield, everything being used right there. Horrify. This Johanna's body blocking so very well. Christie's body blocks right there. I would not want to see that. I would not want to see that whatsoever. Hey, Zex, thank you so much for the tier 1 subscription. I don't want to miss the ending. No, no one does. Maybe we'll get another bot game. I hope not. Zul'jin will be getting picked off in, I believe, this mid lane by the Genji right there as I was looking at chat. I think it's Fun Runner. Thanks for coming by. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just got here in time for 0-0. Why does Uther look like Morales banned the skin? What is Kitty Cat Uther? Like, if you look at his chest, it looks like a little kitty cat. I get what you're saying, though. I agree. It does look like that, but Uther, show the front of your skin. That looks like it kind of looks like a cat's face. Hey there, say how to ban it. Absolutely, Val. How are you doing, Valk? It's actually, I think Valk is how you prefer it to be shortened. if I'm not mistaken. I think you've told me, but Visionary is going to be going down right there. Uther will be able to have those ghost heals for the friendly team, but this is so far in favor for the members of Probe 1. Genji going to be diving to that backline. They don't have a Divine Shield because Uther's down for 16 more seconds. They finally do go down. Nano Boost did go out into the Gul'dan as well. That's going to be the Lunar Flare connecting onto Midnight Haze as well, as Christie and friends are going to be stepping further forward. That's the Water Elemental, as we didn't get to really hit on many of the left-hand side talents. The Water Elemental, as discussed in draft as well, is going to be a great tool for them to be able to get extra damage. They'll use it as a little bit of a ward or a zoning tool to force back the enemy team. Thank you for the follow as well, Funrunner. I think I got your name right. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. Please correct me in chat if it's pronounced differently or said differently. But Midnight Haze taking a lot of damage. I think that was the Horrify that came out right there that separated them for a second, but it's not going to separate them enough. Visionary is up here. They do have the Divine Shield as well if they do see someone getting a little bit too low as they do aggress onto them. Sulfur Smash goes out, but it doesn't get much value as they get just the AoEs. Ragnaros goes down, but they trade out the Leorc for it. Solo lane for solo lane in a sense. That's going to be the cleanse onto JTR, I do think, as Visionary is going to have some damage thrown onto them, but Thunderblade. Oh, that's what I was just about to say. Thunderblade needs to watch for JTR because one Swift Strike through could be their demise, and it almost was. It really almost was. Hype for HOTS? I'm glad you are. Thanks for coming by. But it's 13 talent tier to 12, and they're playing around this, but unfortunately, I don't think the members of Archon are going to be able to finish this out. Entomb goes out onto 2. Perfection taking a lot of damage here. Tyrande just trying to auto through all that, and that's going to be a really good 2-for-nothing trade as they... Oh, hold on. That's going to be the guillotine being thrown in here. So many members are low. This is going to be a little difficult. Nice use of the ensnare from the Zul'jin as well. Ensnare? I feel like that's wrong. Oh, we got it. All right, so far we're 2 for 2 for our talents right there, as the Genji will be taken out by the Nexus forces. A little too OP, but with 18 skeletal defenders on the side of Archon, they're going to say this is not ours. We're going to have to give this over. And second Punisher of the game, Frozen Punisher, going over in favor for the members of Probe 1. I was hyped to see Ring of Frost. Ring of Frost would have been good. I think just the Water Elemental here and the pure damage output from it, and like Wintermute upgrade at 20 is going to work out so well for them, especially with how brawly it's been. The other thing to consider here too is what's the follow-up on top of Ring of Frost outside of Jaina. You've got some auto attacks from Zul'jin, you've got Ragnaros with more auto attacks, so I think the Water Elemental pairing well into a auto attack based composition in a sense, where you have this mage who's kind of slowing and bursting on top of that, is going to work out really, really well for them. But this is going to be a Punisher jumping around here, going to be able to get a lockdown into 1. They have the follow-up damage as well. Gul'dan did finish out the Echoed Corruption level 1. Nice. Horrify coming in as well. Ice Block was used by Zadie, and they end up going down, as that is going to be Gul'dan with the Nano Boost thrown onto them. That's going to be Genji with the Divine Blade as they're chasing into Perfection in the backline. There we go. And that does end... Oh, wait, Thunderblade coming up here? Oh, and Snare goes out, but it doesn't connect. But they still get a fort. And for a Ragnaros-based team, that's a win. Because you now have another pivot point for said Ragnaros. I mean, if you are winning a fight, you can sneak around, you can get a Molten Core as they're trying to retreat. You've blocked off their retreat path, but look at how much damage they just threw out. I would say comfortably a lot of those members were over, about 100% on their health, and they're all, well, Thunderblade's just gonna have to self-heal, and Perfection will be able to heal as well, but really it's just like, I'm Hearthen, I'm out of here, I'll be back later. Selexia, thank you so much for the 69 bits. I very, very much appreciate that. Nice interaction with commentary. Thank you. It's what I like. This is why I look forward to casting, because I get to do all this. I'm watching this game and I don't know what's happening. John Knight, let me catch you up. Bandit just walked in the room. That's all you need to know. It's Infernal Shrines. This is the most Pepega Heroes game I've ever seen. I think I actually just took Pepega out of the better TV emotes. If you want to know what those better TV emotes are, by the way, there is a little panel in the below that does give you a description, which all 5 of those are. I agree, Selexia. John Knight and Porky in this chat. Oof. I'm gonna need to take a shower after this. 16 to 16 in our levels, and we'll get an idea of what those look like in just a second here. Leorc is gonna be able to use that Wraith Walk, as it looks like I would say they have the Ominous Wrath as well as that Royal Focus to get the cooldown reduction as well on the cooldown reduction from the slowing from the sweep right there is, hold on, we have an Entomb coming out, Nano Boost onto the Gul'dan. That's going to be a huge Ragnaros Molten Core as they get one swing onto the Genji right there. I think the Guillotine came out from the Zul'jin as well, and they are able to get the Uther. Can they find themselves a Leoric? That was a really good stun. The Sulfurous Smash goes out, but they're not able to get it. Uther Ghost Healing does end. Wow. Just wow. They forced them back really effectively there, and also getting that Uther pick is huge for them. Top lane is going to be having periodic catapult pressure due to the fact that you are going to be having the fort down up there, so that means that they're going to have to deal with that. They can see Genji's up here. Let's actually jump over to the vision for the blue team right now, get an idea of what this looks like as we have our third shrine going to be popping up in this bottom lane. Wait, didn't mean it that way, but was just adding them. Okay, Selexia. Okay. We were all nobodies? No. Everybody's somebody in this chat. You're all someone I love. But thank you all for being here, seriously. Thanks for supporting these teams, and thanks for cheering on some great Heroes of the Storm. And supporting a great community. Shrine gonna be popped right there. Arcane Punisher will be popped up for one team, or the other, we'll find out. That's gonna be a lot. And that, like, when I say a lot, like, look at the amount of Skeletal Defenders already burning, or coming up in favor for the members of Probe 1. Also to note, there's going to be that Shaman camp in top lane. That is also going to be Zul'jin finishing that baseline quest. The Guillotine comes out, but it is only going to connect onto some Skeletal Defenders. That's going to be Gul'dan getting the Nano Boost right there out from Little Bex, who's getting some great healing in as well. Joanna does go down, but they trade out the Leoric for it. Zadie is so very low, as they do need to kind of cycle back right there. I'm just looking for someone without a questing talent. They forced them back. There's no Molten Core because they used that right before this fight, so they can't utilize that to try and finish this out. They're going to have to find their way into this. That's Genji with the Dragon Blade, finding one, finding two, and that's going to be Gul'dan actually stealing away that second kill. But oh, no, Genji finds that second one regardless, and JTR is able to get those Swift Strikes. Sulfurous Smash goes out once again, and unfortunately it will not find them the pick. Fatal Rampage, meanwhile, is just cheating death on this Leoric, able just to steal a bunch of health away, and they're going to Hearth back. And I like the way they did this. Oh no, the heart didn't go through in time. They heart just a touch too late. But I liked what they were doing. They were you know, cheesing, or not cheesing, but they were cheating death and getting that reduction on their timer, so that way they could get back into this top lane faster. And you know, you can hearth in that ghost form, so what you want to do obviously is you want to be able to get that right beforehand. But a Shaman camp left on their own. They just took out the front gate without any problem right there. Easy peasy as the Punisher pushes in through bottom lane. 20 talent here rounding the corner for Archon. If blue team hard wins this objective, it's game maybe. They have a lot of good momentum. Top camps. Strictly for names and logos, it's hard to root for Probe 1. Oh, it's hard to not root for Probe 1. Excuse me. Molten Core form from the from this Ragnaros right now, as I believe my little rotation thingy didn't work out for me right there. I was like, why haven't we seen talents in a while? Okay, there we go. It was something on my end. It was my stream deck didn't count through the little cycle thing that I have. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment, Funrunner. Thank you, thank you. That's all I can hope to ever provide for the community, but that's going to be a nice chase into this. Oh, Horrify goes out, but it's going to pull them into... Oh, either way, this is going to be... Ragnar's going to be dropping down right there as they also drop the Sulfurous Smash. Gul'dan, though, with this Nano Boost, was just shredding through the enemy team. Leoric now going to mop their way into this fight, going to get some attack reduction onto some of these players as Tyrande and Zul'jin go down. Oh, that's going to be the Ice Block onto one, but that also is going to be the 20 talent tier for said Leoric, who did go for the Buried Alive. They actually don't even get the Wraithwalk forward far enough to be able to get that kill, but with 5 dead and over 40 seconds on average, the members of Archon are going to be moving on in through bottom lane, and you can see they're posturing right now in this bottom lane keep. They want to end. And they know they can. They've got a wave coming up with them. They've got decent damage into this core, and with, as I said, 30-some seconds, 20 on the Ragnaros is the lowest. It's going to be GG's. You actually see it already being called out by perfection. I don't know why I keep wanting to saying perspective this entire game. But either way, game number 1, going to be going over to the members of Probe 1. Nope, over to Archon. GG, well played. I looked over at the other screen. I looked over at OBS and just brain potatoed. All right, let me update some stuff in the background, and then we will find out what these teams want to do. I did that and someone clipped it, and I remember like later that night thinking about it, and I went, I think I said the wrong team that won. Who was, let me remember who's captain of what team. Okay. If they won objective, they would get top keep off of it, be able to threaten end, plus their macro, plus if they macro properly, could get bottom fort keep, but we ain't in that reality. Yeah. It's a possibility though. Really quickly during that game, thank you so much to Zex for the tier 1 subscription. I really appreciate the support, my friend. Thank you for coming by and cheering on and just supporting the team, the stream.
Follow you to the end of the world. Subscribe.
Ana MVP for not even coming close to dying. Ana also MVP for being able to put out 86,000 hero damage. And Celestia, thank you for hero healing. We're discussing. Give me a minute. Okay. I went to get my pizza and come back to this. Just. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Miss Windup Bird. I'm so sorry. Also, Leoric went the right build. Let me jump back. What did they? We didn't even highlight that. So they went into Onus and Renewal. They have the Kneel Peasants. They've got the Hopelessness. They've got Entomb, Ominous Wrath, Royal Focus. Sorry, hold on. I Skeletal Swing. I was like, it's not Sweeping Strike. Sweeping Strike is not the right word. But I was thinking about it, and then they went Buried Alive. Yeah. Pretty good. All right, cool. Did I mute my mic? No, we're good. All right. Oh, what were the last bands? Whoopsie. AP. Oh, AP. Sorry, I forgot that they were asking me what the bands were. Whoopsie. If they did things right, they would win, Kappa. What's up, Radically Dreaming? How you doing? Leoric scored 100% on his Leoric build. Okay, cool. Right. We got a map. I'll go ahead and make lobby, and let's go ahead and get ourselves into game number 2 and see if we can get to a game 3. I need to update one little thing in the background on my end. Boop and boop. Okay, that's good to go. Let's get these teams in here and let's see who takes the series. Yeah, okay, cool. 7 has like 2 or 3 correct answers in this game. Checking out for a bit. Good work, Bahamut. Thank you so much, Valk. Thanks for coming by, my friend. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for supporting and thanks for cheering on some great teams. And then this is not the only best of 3 that we have this evening. We are going to be having another best of 3 after this. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just reading something really quickly. Okay. I can't handle that right now, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go back to casting. Swap team. And then let's get the JTR in here, and then we're going to be going into game 2. Doggo boys? Yeah. He's the best boy. Like, look at that boy. He's such a good boy. Bandit, aren't you the best boy? Yeah. You are. Alright, they got hat. Team 2 is going to have first pick, first ban. Alrighty. I have a friend request? Sure. How old is Bandit? God, I always... 2014 I got him, so he's 5. I always do this. Like, I always go, is he 4 or is he 5? But I got him in 2014. And that's where I always mess it up, because I'm just like, he's 5 years old, but I got him in, yeah. So he's 5 in dog years, or in people years. I don't know how, like, dog years I've always been told are actually, like, it's not 7 or something like that. Like, it's actually, like, it scales over time or something, much like cats. Okay, cool. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get on into this, everyone. We are going to get ready and get going into our game number 2. We will be finding ourselves on... Welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am your caster, Bahamut. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Probe 1, and on the right, it is going to be Archon. Up 1 game in our Best of 3 series for the Heroic Division for a Nexus Gaming Series. And if you're sitting at home and you just got yourself a delicious chicken bacon ranch pizza with stuffed crust, and you're wondering how we got to Volskaya, don't worry. I got you, fam. The home team this evening is going to be the members of... Probe 1, they lost the coin flip. First pick priority was chosen by Archon as they banned out Braxis Hold Down Alterac Pass. Sky Temple and Battlefield of Eternity were banned out by the members of Probe 1. Infernal Shrines was the first map chosen by Probe 1 and lost by them. They opted for map pick in game number 2, so they decided to take us to Volskaya Foundry. Let's see if they can win it in game number 2. Let's get back into our draft as I hear some bans coming through. Bandit, aren't you the best? Stairs pondering how to answer. Yeah, pretty much. Where did you get him? Let's hear the story. I got him, so back, I lived in Detroit, like, I moved from Detroit 2.5 years ago out to South Lake Tahoe. Back then, like, in 2014, there was, and they do it every year, they actually do it twice a year, there's something called the Meet Your Best Friend at the Zoo Day, and the Detroit Zoo has a gigantic parking lot that they open up to every single rescue foundation company that's in the Metro Detroit area, and they have them all come there. Sorry, they're asking me a draft question. And so I went there with my brother, and he went and adopted his second cat, Lily, and I walked around for like an hour, and then I just kept coming back to his cage, and I asked if I could hang out with him. I walked around the parking lot with him. He was super chill, and he was super nervous, and I read his like little backstory and everything, and I was like, all right, cool, like, you're coming home with me. And that was how I got him. It was like September 27th or something like that, 2014. I'm like 90% sure on that date. I don't know why, but it's like, I don't know, like, I actually had a countdown on my phone to like the day I got to go to the zoo, but we are going to be getting, this is the draft question that I had, we are going to be getting Kira here as our first pick priority on the side of Archon. I missed a lot of chat here. Chicken Bacon Ranch, oh yeah, Radically Dreaming, oh yes. Is Heroic the new Division S, or is S still the top division? So, like, Heroic is the highest level of play in Nexus Gaming, and S Division is the highest level in Heroes Lounge. I guess you could say that. I would say, though, that S Division has a better prizing and a different tournament set and a different ruling and all that. So it operates differently than its own base league. So I don't know how to, like, it's kind of, it's a bit of an odd comparison. I would say they're at the same level. The skill level's at the same, but the prizing brings a different level of skill. Like, you have people like looking for work. Like, they're not playing in Nexus Gaming because there's no gigantic prize pool to win at the end of it. But S Division has that, so you're going to get looking for work. You're going to be getting some of those major teams that will form X-Pros so that they can literally just go against each other. We have missed a lot of this draft, so let's actually dive into this. I just want to quickly catch up onto chat a little bit further, because I know I missed a couple questions. So I answered Stark, Heroic Division, part of NGS. Well, oh, okay, so Radically Dreaming was answer it. Thank you. Oh, Stark, I didn't read all of chat, and I clarified something that was already clarified. So thank you, Radically Dreaming, for actually covering that for me. And I apologize for not reading your comment first, but either way, our draft is unfolding on Volskaya here, as we do have a Alarak Genji Diablo ban on the left-hand side, getting rid of all of the dive. No dive for the opposing side. Jaina, ETC, Phoenix will be banned out on the right. There's a lot of great synergy and core that they got rid of. We do have a Leoric and Rhaegar on the left-hand side. I like that duo right there. And Akira and Mephisto Ana on the right. Oh, these teams, I don't know what they're doing in this game number 2, but I love it so very much. I love it. Yes. And here's the thing. Let's just get Archon to just Cho'Gall. Archon, just Cho'Gall for me, please. Now, realistically, they need a main tank, and they need something in the... I was gonna say solo lane, but I think Kira might be their solo laner. Is that main tank Chen? No, okay, so it's solo lane Chen. I think that skin is banned for T. Okay. I'm very surprised by this Nazeebo. I'm very, very surprised, but I'm excited about it. I like that we have it. This is enticing. This is exciting. Okay. And the main tank's gonna be coming out here. Okay. So the Leoric is gonna be in the solo lane, obviously. You're gonna have Nazeebo, Rhaegar, Hanzo, Joanna rotating between mid and top to stack up Nazeebo as quickly as possible. Oh, this is so exciting. Chat, this is exciting. If you have a Nazeebo friend, which, by the way, Haloran, this is your warning. We're very late, but this is your warning, Haloran. Tell your friends, tell your family, we have a Nazeebo game. What skin is banned? The Mechaterial one is banned. How does it happen that some skins get banned, and why? So what happens is it's usually a lot of the... So in the olden days, a lot of the pro scene actually had a banned set of skins, and a lot of the leagues pulled from that. Now that there's no pro league, it's what happens is a lot of the players in the top divisions and even in the other ones, they look at a new skin release, for example, the Stitches one, and they're like, hey, I can't see Putrid Bile. And so the league will go, all right, you know what? Let's make it fair. We're not going to allow that Stitches skin so that way people can see, they can see the Putrid Bile. The same thing works for like Tyrael, where you can't see the Holy Ground and you can't see some of his abilities in the mecha form. But we got ourselves into a game. Let's actually jump over to that. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Probe 1. Down one game in our best of 3 series. Zadie's going to be on the Nazeebo. Christy will be on the Joanna. Perfection will be on the Rhaegar. We have Thunderblade on the Leoric and Reilly on the Hanzo. On the right-hand side, we have the members of Archon up one game in our best of 3 series, trying to close it out in the second game. We've got Fatal Rampage on the Chen. Midnight Haze going to be on the Mephisto. Little Beck's going to be on the Ana. JTR on the Kira, and Visionary on the Tyrael. Lauren's here? I don't know, but I just like to give him a warning. Nazeebo is not terribly surprising here, honestly. Volskaya is pretty often goes to late game. Yes, I would agree with you that it's one of those maps that you definitely can play it, but it's a little surprising to me because that is the members of Probe 1 saying we are playing to 20. We don't care, like, we want to play around that 20 talent tier. And that's a bit of a bold statement to say in draft because you're saying that we're expecting this to go long, and teams, I've seen teams end on this map very, very quickly. JTR is going to get caught within that zombie wall really good, but they also have to pull right out of there. Midnight Haze is going to be having these skull missiles going out as well, as they are going to be trying to stack that up as quickly as possible. That Unyielding Power has two stages to it. I believe it has the 20 stacks and the 40 stacks, where it gets you cooldown reduction at 40, and you get damage at 100, or at 20. There you go. So, if you're wondering, yeah, so there's 2 questing for that one, and then the Fatal Wounds, for anyone who's new to Kira's build, we're going to just hover over some of these talents so at least everyone at home knows them, and also I can learn them a little bit better. This one I know that it increases the reward, it increases the duration by 2 seconds. I've learned this one, but I honestly, I gotta play more Kira myself. I really don't understand her kit and all of that because I just haven't got any time to really sit down and focus and learn and go through every single ability. Because that's what I usually do when someone gets released. I just go to try mode and I go, alright, what's the build that I'm going to go for? And then I cast and I'm like, alright, my build is absolute trash. What was I thinking? But that's so, like, I agree. Like, Nazeebo's not terribly surprising, but it's the fact that we're in the heroic division. We often don't see heroes like the Nazeebo. We often see things that are more dive heavy, more high skill execution in these situations. And I'm not trying to take away from the players or their draft or anything like that. It's just, this is just what I typically see versus what we're seeing right now. And Nazeebo will be the first blood right there, picked off by the Kira. OP, please ban, first pick, first ban every single time. She's just too powerful now. But she is, I got to catch a game or two of hers, and she's looking strong if you know how to play her, it seems. I've gotten to catch someone playing her who should have died, I felt, a couple times. I think it was actually the replay that we saw yesterday of Stark on Kira on that Hanamura game during the replay that Kaimo Tripson sent me. Which, speaking of, if you have a replay of your own and you're like, man, I had a sweet Storm League game, you could join my Discord and you can pop it into the replay channel and I'll cover that. I'll ping you right beforehand. I also, as a note, do not use everyone in here inside my Discord because I hate those pings as well myself, so I'm not going to do that to anyone else. The only time I've ever used it was when I casted for Tespa on the Blizz Heroes channel, but that was like, I think that's an exception. I think if I'm casting on the Blizz Heroes channel, I can use the here, which is what I used in the please do not mute channel. Either way, 6 to 6 on our levels. We're going to be getting it through some of these questing talents. The other thing to note too is I didn't highlight this whatsoever. We are going to be having that Hanzo going into the, oh my god, the damage output between Kira and Mephisto. Way too strong, as Tyrion's going to go ahead and steal away that kill. Main tanks just got to keep their KDA ratios a little bit better right there. You can see they're trying to get that last hit money so they can go to the shop and buy more things. I've been watching too much TI. It's just too entertaining. Either way, a first objective is going to be sitting at 70 or 60 some percent, and you couldn't have stopped at 1% earlier. Come on. Archon. You had one job. Top lane is going to be cleared out, but this is something I didn't highlight this at all, and I kept wanting to. Target practice for the Hanzos. The one thing that I like about this is that you have the increased range after you hit everyone once, but the damage increase is going to be strong as well. That will pair well into the explosive arrows. Now, I'm curious to see, are they going to be going into the spell power increase right there? That 7 talent tier is always, yeah. Oh, actually, they're going to be going for sharpened arrowhead. This is often what we do see with the. I think it's never out. No, not never outmatched. Oh, I'm blanking on the level 1 that increases your attack speed. Either way, we have a fight breaking out, so it'll come to me at some point later today. But Thunderblade taking a lot of damage. We'll have to get the Wraithwalk right out of there. That's going to be the turrets going down, just turrets everywhere, as well as the biotic emitter. Everything being used on the side of Archon, but it's going to force the enemy team off, and they will be able to pick up the first Triglav Protector in their favor. I think she's a lot like Illidan. If you can stun her, you can blow her up quickly. But if you let her do what she wants, she can wreck you. KPB, I think that's a really, really good way to word it. I agree with you 100%. From the minimal play competitively I've seen from her, I think that is definitely the answer, and we may be seeing that answer coming in the next couple weeks. Teams are going to be slowly and surely figuring out how to play against her, how to counter her as these weeks do progress. So I hope that like stun meta isn't like the thing that comes back, but maybe they just need to find a reliable stun. Currently, I'm looking through this draft, the only major stun they have is going to be that Joanna with the Condemn or the Blessed Shield. Okay, sorry, someone's typing to me on my, someone's messaging me on my phone, and I was like, oh, I have not heard from you in quite some time, but I think it's because they're going to be in town for a concert. Whew. This is honestly such a good game. Redemption at 1 increases hunt. Thank you, Redemption. I could not think of that name, because I kept wanting to say Simple Geometry, and I'm like, that's Scatter Arrow. That's not the right one, but thank you. Redemption is going to be that level 1 where you get the cooldown, or not the cooldown reduction, the increased attack speed, and we often do see that with the sharpened arrowhead. Ryokai, how you doing? Thanks for coming by, my friend. I hope you're having a wonderful night. I also miss Angus Lee's comment, Naz not Probius? Yeah, I agree. Table flip on that one. This will be Archon stealing away this camp. And they're doing really, really well in this game. Kira is going to be finishing out that Fatal Wounds at level 1. The Zadie did finish out the Toads at level 1, the, Pandemic at level 1. I was like, it's not growing Toads, because I think that's actually a talent later, or Toads of Hugeness, there we go. But they are going to be sitting at 71 stacks on that Nazebo as well, and I've hit this before on some other casts, but it's just always something great to highlight is on a Nazebo from a lot of the players that I've seen and I've talked to, what a lot of them kind of have told me is, you know, there's like a, oh, you want to do it like this many stacks per minute. Someone was like, no, like get 10 stacks per level. That way when you get to 20, you have 200 stacks, and it gives you at least a 25 stack buffer between you and that 20, like when you get to that 20 talent, because you only need 175. So that's just something to know. So they're a little bit behind, at least from what I've seen in the past, but they can easily make that up as this game does progress. They are, oh wait, the Blessed Shield gonna be going out right there? Did I? Yeah, I think it just hit right on to the fortification camp, as the Entomb is going to be coming out as well. Kira's going to be able to make it out of that. That's going to be the Gargantuan out as well. Fatal Rampage coming into this. They do have that Storm, Earth, and Fire. Apparently they accidentally chose that instead of the Wandering Keg. Everyone knows that Wandering Keg is the best talent that Chen could take at 10, obviously. Fatal Smash, I think it is. Final Smash is going to be for the Kira as well. We have the Consumed Soul for the for that Mephisto. Everything else is looking pretty standard. Sanctification for the Tyrael. No judgment, but I mean, realistically, what's gonna... I mean, Mephisto can dive with them, and Kira can kind of dive, and so can Chen. Like, they could take that, but I think the nullification that they can bring into a fight in some situations that might go a little south, like let's say they get a gigantic entomb with a zombie wall, and they're just throwing in this damage, and Nazebo's just popping off. Sanctification, that junk. Stormshock, how you doing? Great to play with you earlier. I'm glad you're checking out the stream. iPhone person. Hi, Paco the Sage. Nazebo will be picked off right there. Just going to take a little bit of a Nexus snap real quickly as they will be able to get back into this. But Control Point B is going to be opening up in just a second here. And while we have this opening up, we can actually talk about the strategy that was played in top lane from the members of Archon with that first Triglav Protector. You often see them go for this top front gate, and usually the mid front gate as well. They got a little bit of damage onto that one, but the main reason you want to open up top lane is because of this Control Point B. What is happening right now is there's no well up here, there's no front gate, so they can't play around that. They've also got the 13 talent here over the enemy side as well, and Archon's been very aggressive, and so they know this, they're playing around that. But having that front gate down and getting this camp to push in here allows them to push out this lane a little bit further, and if the enemy team wants to try and take a fight over this Control Point B, and, you know, they need to back off and grab mana, grab health, the only way they're going to be able to grab that well-wise is going to be either from their mid lane or from their keep front gate area. So this is just something to note, like, in your own games. When you get that first Triglav Protector, make sure you're taking out this top lane well. It's the same thing that you can apply on Dragonshire in top lane and bottom lane. Well priority in a lot of these maps and a lot of these games can change how people play around the objective. As you can see that they're playing this slow, but there's a point where they have to step up, and that's right now as this 13 talent here is going to be hit on the left-hand side from Probe 1. Can they make this happen? Overtime's going to be hit. Mephisto going to be diving out, getting a little bit of damage right there. Mr. Christie taking quite a bit themselves. They do drop that fortification camp on either side. That's also going to be the healing, the Bidok emitter coming out from the right-hand side as well. And Tomb onto a couple. The Gargantuan comes out as well. Hanzo with the arrow. Visionary just getting shredded in health. No sanctification for 5 seconds right there as they do go down. Can they get their passive ability off? Zadie's going to be able to get the Ancestor healing in time. They do get the blow up onto Thunderblade, who's just dealing with Fatal Rampages. They did pop the Storm Earth and Fire. JTR does get the spear out, and they're able to find themselves a Leoric. Midnight Haze, could they find perfection? They don't, but they are able to control this point, and they will be able to pick up the second Triglav Protector in their favor in this top lane. Zadie, is there any... Oh, Consume Soul is used right there. There's no way you're making out of that one, Nazebo. And they go flying. Anything like Consume Soul or Last Rites or anything that kind of applies like that, I love the ragdoll from those heroes. Like, I think like a lot of Chromie abilities, if you can actually get the final hit with those, they really just rocket the model across the map right there. But we are going to be continuing through this. Oh, say hi to the phone person from us. I will. Hey, Twitch chat says hi. Just like, who's Twitch chat? And if you don't know, then that's just rude. Like, you gotta know what Twitch chat is. They're just gonna open up mid lane a little bit further, just take out that front gate, but now they want to do the exact same thing as I was talking about in bottom lane. And this is a great example of what I was just talking about. Control point C will be our third control point of the game, and so what they want to do is they want to open this up further, take out that well, make sure that front gate's there so they can chase into the enemy team. The other thing too is this is going to yield them a little bit more in experience, which we can actually cycle through right now. We haven't cycled through any of the other numbers in quite some time. And by the way, this is just a little bit of that was a visual bug right there. Kira did finish out the fatal wounds. It just, while they're in the Triglav Protector, it's just a visual thing to show 0. It will do that for any hero with a questing talent. And the Triglav Protector goes down. Full timer going to be used on that as well, as Chen going to be just rotating around this map, continuing to push back the Nazebo a little bit here. I didn't get those set up. I thought I did. All right. Whew. This is why we take Ice Block. Ah, Consume Souls can't be countered by Ice Block. No, you're right. 16 Talontiers is going to be here on the right-hand side, and they're going to be able to steal away this camp. And it seems like they're just going to kind of have some dominance on the map for now, as the enemy team is just going to have to play us a little bit slower for about a half a level. Zadie needs to be careful here. I did note that there's a decent amount of dive from Chen to Tyrael to Kira, and... you wouldn't believe it, like, Tyrael can really put in the damage. Like, I've been caught by a Tyrael and go, there's no, how am I dead? Well, we'll take a peek at 16 Talontiers in just a second here. We'll look through some of these last little bit of these numbers, and then we'll get back into that really quickly, as it is going to be pretty close to our next Triglav Protector announcement. I'm just looking across the map to see how this is forming up, and it seems like they want to just push up the lanes. They're not going to be pushing up to the point of the fort. They're just playing this a little bit I wouldn't say safe, but they're just playing it slow in a sense. Like they're just like, all right, cool, we'll get this lane, this camps up as well. Let's go ahead and grab that. Visionary anchoring for the friendly team, just sitting over in this bush and also being aggressive with their posturing. Let's actually jump over the vision for the blue team right now. 16 to, oh, actually, hold on. Let's show their 16s because I didn't get a chance to look at those. Mithril Mace for the Leoric, as well as the Spectral Leech at 13-16. Okay. What else do we have? What do we have for Kira? Chainsaw, Carnage, cooldown recharges 100% faster while enemy here's blood rage stacks, and that's going to be increased by 2 seconds right there. So that's a really, really good synergy with talents from the Kira player. Revolving sweep cooldown refreshes 150 while Kira is swinging around her target. She also gains 50 spell. That's even better. I forgot about that one. I think I did see Stark take that yesterday. Fatal Rampage is going to be potentially caught in this bottom lane. Can they get the Storm Earth and Fire in time? They actually don't need it. They took a whole lot of poison damage and a whole lot of stagger damage, and the little Bex comes in here is like, I got you. Let me just shoot you with my gun. Nazebo, as noted by Ryokai, went for Guardian Toads, right? Because this is Ice Block, is it not? Yeah. Because it should be 13. 16 is going to be that spider colony. Okay. Me personally, I'm a full Spider Boy build. That's just me. Toads, it's just not my jam. But they're going to be able to get a lot more stacks here. 152 on this Nazebo for now. 17 to 18 in levels. 1 to 6 in kills. I'd say this is a low kill count game for both teams. Like I've seen, I think it'd be way higher if they were playing into each other a lot more aggressive. But I think they're respecting a little bit on the side of Probe 1 and playing this slower, saying, you know what, we're going to try and fight around this objective. I don't think, well, obviously, you know, they need to get 20. Like that's where their composition works the best. The one thing I will note is I have seen Control Point C Triglav Protectors end quite often. Look at this wave just getting tons of work in for them right now as they are going to be diving onto Christie, who, nice use of the Holy Ground, and that's going to be the Iron Skin already popped. Yeah, that's enough damage, and they go flying over onto the Conveyor Belt. They find themselves a Nazebo. That's the Ancestor Healing going out. Oh my god, the Entomb from Leoric. Way too good right there. That's a Nexus highlight moment right there for sure. Send that one to those Nexus highlight boys, Nexus commentary boys. 18 to 19 in our levels. Chen going to be sitting on the point. Fatal Rampage potentially picking this up. Top lane's going to be cleared out. 164 stacks on the Nazebo. Easily going to be able to hit that 200 or the 175 stacks before this is out. But I keep falling back to that same point. They're at 18.5. Control Point C Triglav is going to be coming up. Will this be enough to end the game? Will they be able to get to 20? Is Archon sitting there like, all right, they're getting close. Like, we need to try and end soon. They've got a level advantage, so they'll hit 20 first. Seems like they're going to try and open up bottom lane a little bit here as well. This would allow them to move to keep front gate with this Triglav Protector, and yeah, they're going to be able to go for it. All right. This is going to be a 16-minute Triglav, as it does scale per minute. 20 Talontiers here as well. What do we have for these players? Elemental Conduit. What is this? No Sanctuary. Nearby enemy heroes below 50% health are revealed, and you gain 20% movement. Well, all right. Well, that's a whole lot of basically Illidan. Blizzard should make a Dynasty-style Warriors games with Blizz characters, preferably mishmash like HOTS does. Random thought. That'd be kind of cool. I'd be interested in that. Dynasty Warriors is that's an interesting. That'd be really, really cool to have a playstyle like that. Thank you so much, Sigrun Shard. Bottom lane keep goes down. This is what I was talking about. Like Control Point C Triglavs like have a huge potential to end games, but it seems like they're gonna make the defense for now. 20% falling on this Triglav really is very low. Huge dive in right there, and they're gonna be able to get the Ancestral Healing onto really Christie's so very low. Tyrael does go down. Do they get the explosion onto one of the players? No, but they do end up getting the Johanna, so it's a 1-for-1 trade thus far. Consume Soul's gonna be used, and they're gonna try and make it back to the Nexus, but Rhaegar is going to be thrown just shy of the Nexus, and now they're going to be working on this core. Can they make this happen? That's going to be 20 talents here just shy on the side of Probe 1, and it looks like they're going to be able to do it just before they hit their 20 talents here, just before they hit that spike that they're playing around. They end the game. GG, well played. The members of Archon take the series 2-0. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just making sure I'm not missing anything. Alrighty. Oh, I marked that wrong, but it doesn't really matter. Just so everyone knows as well, this is not the only series we have. We do have another best of 3 coming up in just a second here. So we're going to get an interview, and then we're going to get going into that one. So don't you go anywhere. Hold on to your butts. I'm just getting ourselves the captain, and who wants to do interview? Well, it looks like I'm gonna eat my words and Zebo pick failed. I wouldn't say it failed so much as like I don't think they got the power. If they got to fight with the 20 talent tier, I think that might have been a different late game. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you should be eating your words, Radically Dreaming, but it was just a really strong game from Archon. So we're gonna get an interview here with one of the players really quickly. Let me get into the right lobby. Okay. Lobby 1. All right, let's show stats once more as we get JTR in here, and then we'll get going to that interview. All right, we are going to be joined by JTR at this time. How you feeling? Congratulations on your 2-0 victory.
Thank you.
Now, we'll back. I have some questions about Volsky, but we'll back up and go to Infernal Shrines really quickly. A pretty good back and forth map right there. They had a really great composition, I did think, to kind of play around that map, but your team constantly was able to find kills with the Genji and the Gul'dan. Was it just like, you know, keep the Genji Gul'dan and get them into the right spots, like make sure that Uther can get the Divine Shield onto the Genji, make sure that Ana can get the Nano Boost? Can you talk about that composition, how you played it? Because it synergized very well, and there was a couple little back and forths, but overall it was a strong game 1 for you.
I think Genji is like one of my best heroes, and so basically what we did is just tried to poke them to death with the Gul'dan, and I would like go off to the side and like E somebody and then run away to the opposite direction and just pull them apart.
Okay.
But like once we got 20 and got Dragon Blade and Divine Shield, it was pretty over.
I mean, there was some moments where I was like, oh, they're gonna start to push back against the members of Archon, and Probe 1 is gonna have some momentum, and then all of a sudden I see this Nano Boost onto Gul'dan, and it's just like, nah, no, dude, no, you're gonna die now. It was terrifying. But transitioning over to game 2, we go to Volskaya Foundry. It's their map pick as well, and they bust out the Sinzebo midway through draft. Were you at that point like, we have to end before 20? Like, were you worried at all about the Sinzebo, power spiking at that later half of the game, or was it just like, we got Kira, we got a lot of harassment and dive, like we're good, we don't need to worry about it?
Yeah, I didn't think we needed to worry about it. I feel like Kira starts out at level 1, and it's like she has Vile Infection done already. It's insane. The amount of poison that she does is just ridiculous. It
is nuts how much you were, yeah. Like, you had 60,000 damage, and Mephisto had 64,000 damage. Like, that's, between you two, that was dumb. That was just dumb powerful for that first game. I absolutely loved it. It was for that second game, it was so much fun to be watching those games and casting all of that great plays. Like, that was just so much fun. I don't have any more questions because it was so entertaining to watch that overall. Any sort of tips, I guess, not tips, but any sort of things that you're going to be doing in preparation as we are going to be moving into our final weeks into our playoffs? Is there anything you're worried about, anything you're excited about for Nexus Gaming Series playoffs?
We're just working on like figuring out what we're doing. Like, I've been building drafts, and we've been trying to experiment with them and figure out what works best and figure out what counters what, and so we're just focusing on that for now.
In your opinion, what counters Kira?
I think hard CC. Something like if you can get like Alarak, ETC, Uther, like any of those heroes, like if you just picked out any 2 of those, I think you can kill her pretty well.
So you're saying it's just...
But other than that, it requires like a cleanse, like a really good cleanse.
If so, you're saying like any sort of, if you had a point and click taunt in a sense, like if you had like a Garrosh or a like a taunt variant, like that'd be a really good way to kind of counter her and deal with her annoying sustained damage and just her in general. Like she's so insane to watch getting played. Like it blows me away how cool she is to watch on the map, as well as just what kind of plays that she can bring to the table. No, it was so much fun. And then I guess just my final question: are there any heroic division teams that you're worried about in the playoffs? That you're like, oh, we gotta study up on them and make sure that we're gonna body them easy.
I think Yikes has been playing really well.
Okay.
And Mismus Skill Shots has been playing really well too. And
Okay.
those are players that like we're all really familiar with, but we know that they're good.
Awesome. It was such a blast casting these games, and thank you so much for the interview. Before I let you run out of here, any shout outs that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours.
Shout outs to my team, shout outs to you for casting, and shout outs to my dogs for not being too obnoxious while I was playing.
They knew. They were like, you know
know.
what? If we're quiet and we're good, we're gonna get treats after this. So let's do that, and he can win and be in a good mood, right? That's how it works?
Exactly.
See? Well, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for the games once again. I can't wait to see you further down the Nexus Gaming Series season, and